I wish the tree could hug me now.
You're okay. You're doing fine. And don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do something.
Hello.
Hello.
How would you describe your mental health right now?
I'd say like it's like 70% okay, 30% sometimes struggling with things. Yeah, I think like the 30% is about my personal self. I feel like there's some issues with like self-confidence, some issues with I think personal body image issues that I feel keeps nagging at me.
A work in progress. It's just something I've really been focusing on more in the past year or so. Key areas that I'm working on right now would be learning how to forgive and learning my own self-worth.
Have you ever been to therapy?
I have never been to therapy. I've always thought about it, but I've never actually kind of gone for it myself. I know it sounds wrong and it sounds stupid to say, but sometimes I feel like there are more pressing issues in my life that I have to deal with before I deal with my own mental issues.
I am currently in therapy still. I started sometime mid last year, so it's been almost 1 year now. I went for therapy because there were a lot of things about myself and my life and my world. Because of how logical I am, I took all these different things about myself and I rationalized, I was very self-aware, and I wanted to talk to someone else about it.
Today, we'll be sending you to try psychodrama therapy for the first time.
Wow! Oh, wait, that sounds like a lot.
Psychodrama therapy, what is that? I have not heard of this before.
Is it like you must act through your problems?
Off the top of my head, I think psychodrama, well, drama is in the word, so I reckon it's theatric, like acting out, maybe acting out past traumas. I think it's going to be quite emotional, right? Like what I imagine really is like actors and actresses being able to cry and let it all out.
I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Shamini Winslow, and I'm a certified psychodramatist and a psychotherapist, and I work with promises. So psychodrama actually is a form of therapy that was actually started by this psychiatrist called Jacob Moreno. He helped people look at all the conflicting roles in their lives and make sense of them, put them back together again. So psychodrama is all based on his observations of watching children play, and he noticed that children had this ability to just be creative and spontaneous, and they had no mental disease, no problems, no anxiety. So he started coming up with ways to work with adults that would help bring them back to that spontaneous self. We usually have a protagonist who's the main person who does their work, but the protagonist is usually chosen by the group, so they basically represent the concerns of the whole group. At the end of it, the people in the group share how the drama touched them. I'm very excited today to meet new people, take some of you through psychodrama session and see what comes up. I'm Shamini.
Nice to meet you. I'm Chow.
Ciao. Hi, Chow.
Fauzi.
Hi,
Nice to
Fauzi.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So today we're going to do some work with each of you, but I'm going to have some other people join. So we have a group. And also psychodrama, there are five elements. Okay, so basically you have the stage where the action happens. You have the protagonist, who is the person whose drama is being done.
Oh.
You have the director. The director is the therapist, basically.
Okay.
You have the auxiliaries, who are basically the co-stars in the drama. And then you have the audience, which is the people who are like witnessing the drama. So we go into, we start with some warm-ups to get you moving and tuning into what's coming up for you. And then we do an action, a piece of work. And then at the end of the drama, everyone in the group shares with the protagonist what protagonist drama, what their drama brought up personally for them from their life.
So we started by having Sham explain what psychodrama therapy was. She explained a lot of different things that we're going to do, but not in very exact terms. It sounded like an improv class, if anything. It was a little bit exciting, but mostly I was nervous.
We are going to do something called sociometry, which is to build connections between everyone. So we are going to get into our bodies, move, and say things that we like, and just express ourselves physically.
Before we started the session, we had a warm-up. And this warm-up felt a bit like kindergarten in class. One thing that we did was to stand in a line to show everyone how long we took to get to the clinic today. And everyone just stood in a line. It could be 30 minutes, 1 hour, and then there was 2 hours. A lot of times, Sham encouraged us to walk around. She's like, just walk aimlessly. You don't have to have a direction. You don't have to have a destination. Just walk. I feel like that was kind of loosening up your muscles, getting you ready to feel comfortable in the space. I especially liked when Sham asked us to act as dinosaurs. The three of the other attendees, they straight away went into like pterodactyl. And then I was the only velociraptor. And I thought it was so much fun because I felt like a kid again.
Right now, this represents the drama that I'm going to do. So I'm going to invite you to step in. I'm going to invite you to step in. If I were to do something to explore this, it would be about...
I feel like I struggle with identifying my own value as a person. And also because of all the years of grinding and hustling, I think I lost my own sense of purpose. Yeah. I'm always trying to survive and trying to find security in my life.
I kind of knew that she felt this way.
Tell her.
I kind of knew that you felt this way. And the thing is, I think a lot of people, I think one of the things is you are exceptionally good at being vulnerable. And I think you are very willing to share about what you experience.
And for me?
I am completely opposite of you. And I guess I've lived a life where I've made a conscious decision to not want to share this with other people, especially because of the nature of our work. Yeah, sometimes I wake up and I kind of hate myself, which is kind of scary.
So I'm going to ask you to give a title to your drama. If it was like a movie title, what would it be?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mirror.
Mirror. Okay.
Who am I?
Who am I? Okay.
We were all sharing about, very, I would say, nondescript things sometimes. And then it got to a point where she got us to share a little bit more about our problems. And it got to a point where she asked us like what would be the title of the movie that you will be presenting, right? That to me got me very affected somehow. I don't know why. Because I had to describe a little bit more about my problems, about, image, about my self-confidence, which I feel like for the most people on the internet, they would see me as someone who's very confident, someone who's, out there doing all sorts of things.
I'm going to invite the two auxiliaries here to think about whose drama do you feel drawn to right now? Okay? So walk around the two of them. You stay here.
Yep.
Whose drama do I feel most drawn to? And then go stand behind that person. Okay? And I'm going to invite you to place your hand on that person's shoulder. Are you okay, people? Put your hands
yes.
Put your hand on that person's shoulder. So in psychodrama, this is called a group, a protagonist chosen by the group, the sociometric choice. Okay? And we are going to go with your drama first.
Okay.
And then later we'll do something with you.
Okay.
All right? Now, is there any trauma around this whole thing about yourself?
I don't think it's like a particular trauma. I think it's kind of an accumulation of people's expectations of me. and I always feel like I cannot fulfill those expectations.
So there's some kind of relationship with myself has been affected. So the title Mirror.
Why?
Yeah. Well, how come?
I hate them. I hate looking at
hate
myself.
looking at
I
myself
hate looking
in
at
the
myself in the mirror.
So we're gonna explore something in this drama. In psychodrama, we can do, undo, and redo something.
Okay.
And perhaps explore what are the obstacles or what are the things that get in the way so that we can kind of do something about it.
When presented with the idea of creating a vignette or like a scene, it started with Sham asking me what my favorite place was. First thing that popped into my mind was Central Park in New York City, which every time I'm back in the city, I will spend some days there just spending time alone. And then she really did help me build the scene. She asked me what did I see in front of me, what was around me as well. So it was very interesting because in my mind I visualize it, right? In my mind I visualize this. And then she got me to use different props to kind of build the scene. So it helped me kind of almost immerse myself in that fictional space. Or it's not really fictional, it's a space. And it was very useful and I thought okay, I was kind of getting into the whole process of it.
I'm going to invite you to just stand there where that tree is. Be the tree.
Okay.
Yeah. You're the tree.
Okay, I'm the tree now.
Yeah. You're wise.
If I was the tree, I would be.
I remember Pocahontas has that mother willow in
I
it.
love Pocahontas.
So do you have some of that mother willow essence spirit in you?
Yes, maybe, yeah. Actually.
Why, yes or no? Hello, tree. You're really very slippery, Feel your branches.
Feel my branch like
Yeah,
oh, okay,
yes.
okay, yes.
Feel your branch. Feel the air, the breeze. Is there a breeze? What time of day is it?
Like 10 a.m.
And you've seen Fauzi come here a few times.
I have.
Yeah. What have you seen him do here?
It's just sitting down, eating, and
Yeah.
just looking out into the space.
Yeah. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he's always thinking about something, but he never actually says anything.
And if you could give him one word of advice, what would it be?
Oh my god, I would like to give him a hug.
Okay. I would like to give him a hug.
Tell him that he's not alone.
Okay, I want to tell him that he's not alone. I'm going to invite you to pick someone to play the role of Fauzi. You have some auxiliaries here.
Okay, yeah.
You really have a deep connection with him. Yeah.
Okay.
Pick someone to play the role of Fauzi.
Chow?
Okay, where does Fauzi sit?
I think closest to the tree.
Okay. Here like this? There he is, sitting, thinking. Go ahead and express yourself to him.
Hi, Fauzi. Honestly, I never thought I would see you again. I feel like life moves so fast, and you barely have time to think about taking care of yourself or putting yourself as a priority. I know you always distract yourself from your feelings with work and doing everything else that you can possibly do. So you don't have to face all the feelings that you feel.
And today, I want to say to you, here, come over
Okay.
here. Look at him. Look at him. Yeah, there he is. Tree. I want to say.
Today I want to tell you, trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Trust your emotions as a way to help you find that direction in your life. My feelings were all over the place. I started feeling emotional at various different points of times. When I started crying, again, like I couldn't control it. It just felt like the emotions were welling up and it just came out in the form of tears.
Reverse roles. You're going to come here. You are going to be the tree. Fauzi, the tree has a message for you.
You have to trust yourself and feel all the feelings that you are burying. And you're distracting yourself with work, you're distracting yourself with everything around you because you don't want to feel all those feelings that are inside. But you need to just let go and believe and let yourself feel those things that you know are there.
It's so funny to see you. Thank you, I guess. It's hard, I guess. It's really hard. It's really hard to really confront how I feel. Because again, there's a finite number of hours in a day. And I feel like if I do this or if I just take time for myself, I'm not productive and I don't get to achieve what I want to achieve. Yeah. But yeah, I accept it. I know, and it's not like something that I don't know. I do know that I can just feel those emotions and just let it, just take time for myself. And it's a work in progress. I feel like it's not something that I will immediately know or know how to do or even just can do. But yeah, I will take note. I feel like my fear is always that if I tell someone my problems, they will judge me for feeling the way I feel, or they will think that my problems are too minute to be a problem.
Reverse roles.
One of the things that I felt like stuck with me, right, is every time I said something, she would then get me to reverse my role with the other person to then say the same thing back, but this time you're listening to it. You have value in this life. Your problems are not too small.
Reverse roles.
God.
Fauzi, you have value in this life and your problems are never too small.
I absolutely loved filling those shoes and being that tree of support because, I mean, outside of the drama, I am Fauzi's friend, and being able to express the support and care that he created by himself, but being that character to bring out those traits and that care for him was something that I valued.
I feel a little bit more relieved. I feel I've kind of let it all out. I guess I feel like it's nice to have someone acknowledge the fact that my problems are not insignificant. Yeah. Throughout the entire session, as we moved on, got to the point where I started, being able to confront my issues. It got better. I felt like a lot more weight has lifted off my shoulders.
Okay, so thank you, Fauzi, for your drama. And now we've come to the integration part. So we had the warm-up, we had the action, and now we're going to come into the sharing portion where the group will let you know how your drama has had an impact on them and how something from their lives as well, about themselves. I'm going to invite you guys to share using I statements. And if you were in a role, I invite you to de-roll by standing up. So you were playing the role of the tree. So stand up and just brush off that role. I'm not the tree. Say that.
I'm not the tree anymore.
I am.
I am Chow.
After we've closed the drama, everyone sits around to have a sharing about what they felt when they witnessed the drama, when they were a part of the drama.
Watching your drama made me wonder what lies ahead of me in my future. I feel like I have no idea what's gonna happen next in my everything, like my life, my career, my relationships. It's kind of like a fog that I'm navigating through. But I really feel like everything that you shared made me know that it's okay to be walking through the fog.
Thank you, Fauzi, for sharing your drama. So this is the end of our session.
Welcome back.
Hello.
How was the session?
Before we started the session, I did say that I thought it was people coming together, acting out scenes of trauma. And I wasn't entirely wrong. I think I nailed it a little bit. Yes, there was the acting out, portraying different scenes, but it was creating scenes. Not so much acting out old scenes, but creating things that may not even have happened. It's a very new concept to me because I think about how I can't change the past. Yet creating a new reality, creating a make-believe world sounds like I'm trying to change the effects of the past.
I think it was a whirlwind. I didn't really expect the session to go that way. I came in with the expectation that it was going to be more fun, playing games and maybe working out some issues here and there. But I think after the session, I felt like there were a lot more serious topics that we dealt with that got me more emotional than I expected to be. Now sitting here, I feel a lot better. It's given me a taste of what therapy could be like, especially for someone like myself.
Would you go for another session?
I think I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. I feel like one session wasn't enough to fully allow myself to deal with different things. And it was just a bit of a teaser of what the session would be like, how the session would be conducted. And I think it would be a good method for me to explore when it comes to addressing different issues in my life that I want to target.
Yeah, I think I would. I feel like it's a very different type of therapy. Therapy in my mind has always been a sit down, you chat with someone, after the session is over, you get exercises to work on. I think this one's a little bit more hands-on, and as someone who appreciates kind of the hands-on approach to anything in life, this kind of therapy really does, it gives people who have a little bit less patience when just sitting down and talking, or maybe someone who is not able to express themselves in words as well. I think this would be a very viable option.
Psychodrama therapy put me out of my comfort zone, and if anyone is, daring enough and willing to try something new, if you're curious at all, right, just go and give it a shot. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to find out more about psychodrama therapy, you can click the link in the description box below.
And please also leave a comment on what kind of other therapies you'd like us to try.
Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Bye-bye!